What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great hump day. The Dallas Cowboys get back on the field today for practice, getting ready to take on the Washington Commanders on Sunday. And tonight, 7:45, I'll be doing a live stream with my son Rio, who is holding on for dear life. But hey, listen, do not think that this is a pushover game. Do not think that this is a pushover game whatsoever, because it's still a division game. And, sometimes you end up having a big win and then you follow it up with a bad win. Last year, the Eagles had a big win against New Orleans and followed it up with a loss to the New York Giants. So don't think that this is, going to be a break. For those out there, that are saying that, well, the Cowboys, of course, it's only the Giants. It's funny that we have revisionist history here, because going into that game, everybody said, "Oh, this is going to be Daniel Jones' coming out party. Barkley is back." Their new coach is the bomb diggity, that they got it made. The Cowboys, no, they got lucky against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's not the same team. Their offensive line stinks and everything else. Because if the Cowboys beat you, it's always going to be discredited. And so now, of course, the Cowboys win. It's like, yeah, well, the Giants were, they're the Giants. They're not ready. It's a new coach, and Daniel Jones needs to be replaced. I tell you what, Daniel Jones, actually, with the amount of pressure that he had on him, I am surprised that he was able to do what he was able to do, which was stay alive. You pressure a guy 25, 26 times in a game, that's just unbelievable. But be that as it may, we have Carson Wentz out there coming up this week, and I hope that they pressure the hell out of Carson Wentz. I hope that they make those 9 sacks that the Eagles had last week on him. I hope the Cowboys get more than that, just for my own taste. But I want to read something here, because this is it hit me this morning, numbers-wise, and I want to read what the Cowboys have done each of the last 20 years, each of these years on these numbers. 21, 33, 20, 44, 19, 23, 18, 56. That's the high water mark. 17, 32, 16, 28, 2015, 33, 2014, 30, 2013, 35, 2012, 36, 2011, 39, 2010, 31, 2009, 34, 2008, 31, 2007, 25, 2006, 37, 2005, 50, 2004, 36, 2003, 37, 2002, 54, and 2001, 34. And the NFL record for this category is actually 72, is the record. And you're like, okay, you've thrown a whole bunch of numbers out here, and this video is just getting boring. Okay, those numbers were team totals of sacks in a season. So in some of those years, we had as low as 23 sacks in a whole season. Right now, today, as we stand, 3 games in, the Dallas Cowboys have 13 sacks. If we do math, I'm much better at math than, of course, I am with spelling and English, okay? Let's be clear. Everybody has their gifts. Math's mine. If you take 13 sacks, divide that by 3 games, you come out with 4.33 sacks per game. If you take that number and you multiply it by 17 games, that comes out to 73.6 sacks for the season. Now, here is the one problem, of course, now, because the NFL has added an extra game. When the Bears had 72 sacks in one season, it was in a 16-game schedule. So technically, by sacks per game, at the current pace, the Cowboys will have the most in a season if it continues. I don't know if it'll continue that way or not. But you got to figure that getting Tom Brady only twice You don't face a Tom Brady. Tom Brady has one of the lowest sack percentages in the history of the NFL at 4.7, I think it is, as opposed to Daniel Jones, that's like 12.7. Daniel Jones gets sacked a lot. And I need to see what Carson Wentz's number is. I'm sure his is pretty high there, too. So as you face Daniel Jones again and Carson Wentz's, that's going to give you more sacks than, say, if you're facing, of course, Tom Brady and a great offensive line. But regardless of whether they get that season record or not, that is unbelievable. And that is a testament to what this team has done in the last couple of seasons in developing and building a defense. This defense should be a top 5. It's already a top 10, having faced Joe Burrow and Tom Brady. It's already a top 10 in points and scoring. Scoring and yardage. They will continue to get even better as this season goes on, especially as you start playing, I would say the Jags, but the Jags are actually playing better. But as you play some of the lesser teams that are out there, the Texans and things, as you start playing those guys, your numbers are going to get even better. But to be able to sack the quarterback and put that much pressure on there, it's everything. Last year it was takeaways. This year it's sacks. And that is where you look at this and say, the big change that the Cowboys had was Micah Parsons. And believe me, that's huge. But it's not only that. There's been so many moves that, when we made them, people were like, the Cowboys don't care about winning. Go get Bobby Wagner. Go get Von Miller. Go get all of these guys. But the Dorrance Armstrongs, re-signing him when people said we should have re-signed Randy Gregory. Dorrance Armstrong has more sacks than Randy Gregory at this point. You look at even getting a guy like Dante Fowler, another guy that you're paying chump change. He is part of that rotation that's actually doing business too and doing well with this. The Terrell Bashams before he got hurt, the Carlos Watkins, the Jaron Curses, the Donovan Wilsons, the Malik Hookers. Most of this defense have been bargain basement guys. And even bringing back Leighton Vander Esch on a team-friendly deal and not giving him the big contract. It's been actually kind of amazing because there's guys like Anthony Brown that everybody's been trying to get rid of forever. What can Brown do for you? Well, apparently he can do quite a bit because he's still that starter out there. And as opposed to the face mask that Kevin Joseph had, he's not making the dumb penalties. So we look at this and you have to say, wow. 13 sacks in 3 games. Your mind's not blown? Mine's not blown. And you look at listening to Dan Quinn doing his press conferences. You can see how much fun Dan Quinn is having right now. And you can look at that and say, maybe that's the reason why Dan Quinn came back, because he knew this defense was loaded. And to go from 2020 where this defense was the worst. Let's be clear here. This defense was the worst. For him to take that defense without doing, like the Eagles do, where they're buying everybody and bringing in the biggest names and stuff, to draft, because we drafted guys like Quentin Bohannon and O.C. Indigazua and Goldston and Diggs. These are all homegrown guys. And as much as we give Jerry and Stephen Jones shit about, not caring about winning, they did get the players here together for this defense. And this defense is unreal and could be on a record pace right now for sacks. The fact that you had Micah Parsons feeling ill and then they literally triple teaming him. That you have D-Law come through with 3 sacks. Dudes, there was a couple of seasons ago that D-Law only had 3.5 sacks in the season. To know that Goldston has half of the number of sacks right now that Randy Gregory had last year. And it would have been more than that had it not been for the face mask by Kellen Joseph. I'm sorry, Kellen Joseph. I'm not letting you get off on that one. I'm not.
Just like
Stupid penalties. That is the Achilles heel for the Cowboys. Is stupid penalties. There was no need for you to grab the guy's face mask. Stupid penalties. Stupid penalties. Stupid penalties. Stupid penalties. Yeah, I'm gonna do a Philly 500 on you. But yes. Now, on the flip side of this, last year was the interceptions and the takeaways. We haven't had that thus far this year, but sacks are just as good because when you can sack a guy, demoralize him, make him basically say, guys, come on, block, do something, and get them off their keel and push them back 5 or 10 yards because of a sack and making it second and long or third and long. You are making it that much easier for your defense because then pin your ears back and really go after it. And I tell you what, these guys are a bunch of crazed dogs ready to get some. And if you're a quarterback out there right now, I would not look forward to facing that Dallas Cowboys defense. I would not look forward to facing them whatsoever. And this, my friends, is the first time in a long time that we have actually had a really good defense. People always look at it and say the quarterback sucks and we just had this, that, and the other quarterback. I want you to understand something. Tom Brady has never won the Super Bowl with a defense that was worse than 8th in the NFL. He wasn't winning Super Bowls with the 32nd defense like we had just 2 years ago. He wasn't. Russell Wilson only won the Super Bowl when he had the number 1 defense in the NFL. Even Aaron frickin' Rodgers, his defense was a top 5 when they won the Super Bowl. So, you have the Super Bowl making defense right now. Let's see if we can get the offense together. And I'm feeling actually pretty good about the offensive line. Is going to be a great running offensive line. We're getting some road graders out there right now. And as Jason Peters gets ready to play more than 14 plays and gets stronger, we could be running over a lot of guys, which again is another one of the Achilles heels come playoff time for the Dallas Cowboys, being able to run the football. So with that being said, I've got some work I need to do. So I'm not in my studio right now, but I will be leaving here early afternoon to get back home so that way I can be talking with Rio about his Washington Commanders away to you guys later. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I'll see you soon.